Hello my viewers, welcome back to the channel. By the video title, you know what this video is about. Today we're discussing, of course, some basketball news. Got the NBA and the NBA, of course, as well. We're discussing some news about that. As you guys know, the NBA did release their schedules a few days ago. They was like on Wednesday or Thursday, something like that. Earlier this week, they released their schedule, and a lot of the odd makers already got the odd stuff out. Of course, they have the Thunder as a top team. Of course, you know, one of the top teams is favored to win a championship again. Of course, followed by the Cavaliers. They had the Knicks up there. They had the Rockets up there, the Denver Nuggets up there as some of the top like 5 teams, of course, were a favorite to go out there. Then they had, of course, the Magic. They had the Lakers up there. They had a lot of teams that kind of built up and been building themselves up to that. Like Thunder, they built their team through the draft and kind of got pieces, of course, previous years and got their team to where they're at now. And you look at, of course, the Rockets, they adding Kevin Durant to their squad, and you know the Knicks, the pieces they have on their team as well, like that. So it's just like, you know, like a lot of these teams, of course, are building up and gearing up. I think the Knicks also got, of course, new coach Mike Brown there as well. So they're hoping that the Knicks do better defensively and hope things kind of work out better with them, of course. So we'll see how things shape out with that. My Heat, I want to discuss my Heat a little bit. We really have a lot of news, of course, fully with the Heat. You know, we haven't made any big signings. I was hoping to make a big trade, of course. Like Trae Young was one of the people I want us to go after. I know Trae Young haven't signed an extension yet with the Hawks, so we'll see what happens. Of course, they haven't offered him one yet, so maybe he might get traded within the season, or maybe after the season. You know, we'll have to wait and see fully what happens. We know Luka Doncic signed an extension, of course. I thought that was a guy who was on the Heat radar. The Heat, one of those teams that always interested in everybody, but never gets anybody. So we'll see what happens fully. Norman Powell, he got added from the Heat, of course, and then we know the Heat added, I think they got rid of Haywood Highsmith, and they brought back Drew Smith to a 3-year deal. They traded Haywood Highsmith away for unprotected pick, something like that the Nets had. So you might be able to get that pick, and you might not be able to get that pick. It's not guaranteed. So they traded Haywood Highsmith away. I was surprised by that because he's a younger talent. He's a good defensive player. And, you know, you need all the best. You need all the wing players you can get, because the Heat is one thing they struggle with right now, like the wing depth, and of course also more guards as well. I know David Mitchell is back on the team as well, but I don't know how my Heat gonna look this year. I know my Heat kind of like in that same mindset as my Steelers. My Steelers, of course, look way better this season than last year on the defense, of course, the offense, adding pieces they added. But one thing about the teams, both teams, they always make the playoffs. No matter what the roster look like, they always find a way to stay competitive. And my Heat are just like that. So we'll never be bad where we be one of the teams in the lottery, because we always find a way to make the playoffs. They're like last year. We had a losing record, but we still made the playoffs. We found a way to get in the playoffs, of course, and when we got kind of jacked up, of course. When I kind of jacked up, we got jacked up in the playoffs, of course, but we went out there and found a way to get in there. I think this year do the same thing, probably be a play-in team again, probably finish like 9th or 8th seed around that range, and then work themselves up to being the 7th or 8th seed at the last bit after the play-in, and then they might win a few playoff games, but they're gonna be a first-round exit again until we can find another superstar, or what Pat Riley like to say, another whale. Bring another whale in. Until then, we're going to be kind of that limbo, being first-round exits every time. Good enough to get in the playoffs, but not great enough to win out in the playoffs. Let's move over to the NBA. As you guys know, A'ja Wilson been playing some tremendous basketball. A'ja Wilson has led the Aces to 7 straight wins, averaging 26 points per game in that span as well, and also scoring 30+ points in back-to-back games, including today. She scored 34, 8 rebounds as well, 2 steals, 3 blocks, and then she also scored against my Mercury, who now dropped from the 4th spot to the 5th spot. We've been on a little lose streak a little bit as we lost to the Aces, and we lost by 3 points. She scored 30 points and had 16 rebounds and had 2 blocks. She's playing some tremendous basketball, and she is an MVP candidate. I know the Fisher Collier is, of course, favored to win because her team record is very high, and she's playing tremendous basketball too. And Alyssa Thomas was up there too as well, but I think A'ja Wilson has kind of passed Alyssa Thomas over these past few games as the second MVP candidate right there. Even though A'ja Wilson has, what, 3 of them already, I think. She's like a 3-time MVP already, so she already have 3 of them. So we'll see what goes on and what happens. But the Aces, you know, people sleeping on them a little bit at first. You know, they were kind of getting stagnant. It was a little stagnant at one point, and they wasn't really going out there and doing a lot of big things. But look at these games A'ja Wilson been putting up. It started off with the Golden State Valkyries victory back in August 3rd. She put up 14 points, 14 rebounds, which is nothing too crazy for her. And she had 4 steals too. But then after that, 27 points, 7 rebounds. After that, 29 points, 12 rebounds. And then she had, of course, 3 assists in that time. And then after that, she had 32 points, 20 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. That right there is crazy against the Connecticut Suns. And then she had 17 points, 16 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 4 assists. And then she had 30, 16. And then she had, of course, today, 34 and 8. and 2 steals and 3 blocks. She's playing tremendous basketball, phenomenal basketball. Like I mentioned before, A'ja Wilson, y'all making an ideal player. I said it many times on my channel. You can go back years back, and when I was discussing the NBA, of course, as well. And I always say, if I make the perfect player, it'll be A'ja Wilson. You know, someone who can guard on all levels. Like she can guard around the perimeter, she can guard interior. She's a good help defender as well. I didn't know how to help her teammates, but she needs to crash in. She can guard man to man or woman to woman, I should say. Like that, she can do all type of things. And then also on offense, she can get to the rim. You know, she knows how to play in the post. Her 3-point ball has increased a lot, you know, over the past few seasons, of course, as well. She just played some tremendous basketball like that, you know. So it's gonna be very hard to try to stop this Aces like train. They won 8 games so far, 8 straight games like that, going out there and dominating. So we'll see how long this momentum stays up. But they got hot at the right time. You know, y'all gonna get hot and go on a streak at the end of the season, and they went out there and doing that right now. So we're gonna see how things kind of shape out a little bit. Right now, of course, we're looking at, of course, some of the WNBA MVP odds like I mentioned before. Of course, you got the top people, of course, you know, Lakeisha Collier, A'ja Wilson, Alyssa Thomas. Brianna Stewart's on this list too, and I'm surprised Caitlin Clark is on this list, because Caitlin Clark haven't played since what, like June the 15th. I think she's been out for a long time, so I'm surprised they haven't. Maybe about popularity, maybe like that, but she's kind of last on the list of to win this right there. But I'm surprised she's even on the list at all. But they have a lot of different awards like that. You know, you have that one, of course. People have Gabby Williams as being the Defensive Player of the Year, so we'll see what happens. But A'ja Wilson, hey, if she can find a way to keep surging and keep going like that, and going out there. They might, I don't know, I think the Lakeisha Collier is going to win MVP, but you never know. A'ja Wilson could win her 4th one. You never know what could happen, but we'll have to wait and see. But let me break down some of these WNBA standings a little bit. Looking at the Lynx, of course, still 28-5 at number 1. They're 9-1 over their last 10. The Aces are 9-1 also over their last 10, and they are the 4th ranked in the Western Conference. I mean, in the whole WNBA, but in the Western Conference. But let me do it in order, actually. I keep doing it out of order. Number 2 is the Dream. The Dream moved up to number 2. They're 21-12. Number 3, you got the Liberty. They're 21-13. 4, you got the Aces, 21-14. So then the Mercury right behind them too as well, 19-13. So the Aces, Dream, Liberty, and maybe the Mercury. My Mercury can find a way to snap out of it. They all going to be fighting for that 2nd spot, because they all only a few games apart. Because I think the Mercury only 2 games behind, and the Aces and all of them are all tied. They just have, I think the Aces have one more loss than them. Like that. Then Liberty have one less loss, of course, than the Dream. So all these teams are tied together. We're gonna see who find a way to get to that 2nd spot and stuff. The playoff race is gonna be up here, like I mentioned before. I think September. I think September, what, the 15th, 13th, 14th, right at range is on the last game of the season. So we're gonna see who's gonna be in and who's gonna be out. We also got the Valkyries at 6, 18-15. At 7, we have, of course, the Fever, 19-16. At 8, we got the Seattle Storm, 17-17. They're actually playing right now against my Mercury. I believe the score is kind of close. Yeah, the Mercury up 62-60. I have it on the screen right here. We'll see if the Mercury can find a way to win. I almost forgot to make a video. I was watching the game. I was like, I have to make a video right now, but I was gonna do it after the game, but it's okay. And then we have, of course, the Sparks at 16-18. At number 9, then you have number 10. You have the Mystics, 16-18. I hope the Mystics can find a way to get back in the groove of things a little bit too as well, to try to make the playoffs. I like the 2 rookie duos of Kiki and Citron. And then at 11, you have the Wings. Paige Beckers is definitely going to win, of course, the Rookie of the Year, most likely. That's definitely going to happen. Playing very good. I know Citron is playing very good too, but Paige Beckers been dominating like that. She might be all the NBA too. You never know. And then at 12, you got the Chicago Sky. Ada Reese been out, I think, for a little while too. Like she had like a back injury still, but she's been out for a little while too. And they definitely miss her, because they're 8-25 right now. I think most likely, I don't know if she'll come back or not to play the rest of the season, but it's kind of pointless to play the rest. They might let her just sit out and fully heal to next season. Like I mentioned before, if I'm Angel Reese, I'll still look to seek a trade or something, or I go demand some stuff from Chicago Sky. I'm like, the Chicago Sky front office, they do everything opposite. Like they lost KFC over the past like past 3-4 years. They lost KFC, they lost Marina Marbury, they lost Vandersloot, they lost Kennedy Carter now as well. They lost a lot of key pieces. Imagine they had a few of those players still with Angel Reese on the roster still, with so many people on the rosters. It'd be a better team. Remember, they had Gabby Williams on their team before too as well. Messed that up too. The Chicago Sky management always seem to mess something up. So I don't know. I wouldn't want to rely on them to be a management to build a team around me. So we'll see what happens. And then of course you got the Kinetic Sun at 13. They're still the last spot. So this is basically all the standings right now. And it's all the news I have for today as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like and subscribe for more content. And I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Peace out.